Point Loma is one of San Diego's true gems, and it's definitely my favorite part of town. It's one of the places I first landed when I moved here in 1998, and I have not gone anywhere since. It's got so much to offer, and we're gonna share a little bit of that with you today in this video. We've got a lot to cover today, but it only made sense to start, frankly, where all of San Diego got its start as well, right here in the harbor. This was one of the main reasons this city became such a bustling town in the early days, is because it had safe harbor for its natural geography. But really, Point Loma took hold because of its deep waters and great fishing. This town was known for tuna fishing for the majority of its infancy. In fact, we still have rich Portuguese history here in Roseville, part of Point Loma, because of all the Portuguese family ancestors that used to work the fishing boats right here in these ports in Point Loma. Fast forward to the middle of the last century, there was a huge municipal project that made this part of town even more special with the man-made islands at Shelter Island and Harbor Island. This gave lots more dock space, more areas for construction as well, with amazing resorts and restaurants. It really brought to life this part of the harbor. Not as much tuna fishing taking place today, but there is still very active ports going on here because of all the sport fishing that takes place. There's a lively and flourishing industry for pros, for day trippers, and for tourists alike to get out there and find themselves some tuna or some yellowtail. Not only that, but we have fantastic water frontage with places like Epic Brewing, where we are right here. We've got Catch right behind you there. We've got Point Loma Seafood and Mitch's behind me over here. And of course, Bali Hai is just a stone's throw away. We're gonna give you a great behind the scenes tour with the owner in a little bit. Of all the beach towns here in San Diego, you could truly make the case that Point Loma has the most to offer and is best geographically suited to the rest of the city. Of course, you've got great water views from homes spread out on both sides of the peninsula, looking out over the Pacific, or across here over the harbor towards downtown. You've got quick access to downtown. You've got quick access to the freeways, to Mission Valley, to the ballpark. You can be anywhere you really need to be in about 15 minutes from here. But you feel set apart and tucked away when you're here. And frankly, you don't really need to leave. Another thing that Point Loma has to offer that many other beach towns don't is access to the modern conveniences that we all need from time to time, like a Home Depot or a Target or multiple grocery stores. There's all of this right here, but it's not in your face either. It really does have the best of everything for you. On average, we have about 50,000 residents here in Point Loma, and to be honest with you, that number doesn't really change a lot from year to year or from census taking to census taking, because there's not a lot of turnover. People absolutely love it here, and as a result, we do have higher than national averages when it comes to median price points of homes, townhomes, and condos here. So for a single family home, the average is going to be right around $2 million, and condos and townhomes are not far behind at $1 million. Now, that's not to say that the low end of those prices can't be more affordable, but that's where things stand here in Point Loma, San Diego. Stay with us through the end of this video. We're actually going to give you some examples of the higher end of these price points and some of the entry-level homes, and so you can see what you can actually get and expect to afford for these price points here in town. But we're going to keep it moving. We're going to move on to our next stop on the tour. Let's check it out. Here we are in front of the Liberty Public Market. This is just one of the hot spots, one of the major attractions in Liberty Station here in San Diego. Liberty Public Market is reminiscent of Pike's Place in Seattle. It's a large space with lots of individual vendors with tons of different offerings. We've got shops and restaurants, we've got dessert spots and coffee shops, all right here in the building behind us. Not to mention a fantastic tap house for great beer. But that's just one part of Liberty Station in general. This is a 361-acre parcel that used to be a naval training center. It was actually called NTC San Diego from 1923 all the way through to 1993. And it wasn't until the late 90s when I moved here and came upon block after block of derelict buildings that were boarded up. This place was a ghost town, but it wasn't too much longer later that the development process really kicked into gear, and slowly but surely this has been transformed into a complete vibrant community of its own. Liberty Station is amazingly located right in the heart of Point Loma with waterfront parks and property to the east. It's also got churches, it's got schools, it's got grocery stores, it's got casual eateries and coffee shops, it's got breakfast places, it's got fancy dining, it's got wine shops, it's got Italian. This place really does have everything you could be looking for in a local neighborhood. Not only that, but it's been deemed a historic landmark. As you can see, everything has been retrofitted here, but it's maintained the old look and feel with a new life and vibrance bred into it now. And we're gonna move on to our final stop, one of the most iconic landmarks in Point Loma, the Sunset Cliffs, for a great sunset tonight. But let's take a walk through here and see what all that Liberty Public Market has to offer. So one of the reasons I'm in San Diego in general, specifically Point Loma, is the coastal lifestyle and the access to waves. I'm a surfer, I grew up at the beach, I had the coastal lifestyle the whole first half of my life, and I did not want to move to some college town that didn't have this on offer. And I found it. As a matter of fact, I did spend my college years here in San Diego. That's what brought me here. And we are standing on a campus right now, but it's not the campus I attended. I went to San Diego State. This is actually Point Loma Nazarene University. It is an amazing campus situated right here in Point Loma with the Sunset Cliffs behind us. Surf spots left and right, everywhere you want to go. It's a small day today, but boy, is it beautiful, and you can tell how incredible this place is to live. Here in Point Loma, we actually have some of the best surf in all of San Diego. I mean, we can't have this conversation without mentioning Black's and Cardiff and D Street and some of the other great spots farther north in the county. But Point Loma really does have some of the best surf to offer all year round, whether it's the winter swells or the summertime. If you're new to surfing and you want to come here, we actually have some great spots where you can learn. There's a place called OB Surf and Skate right in Ocean Beach, and they give lessons on a regular basis right in OB there. If you're a little more experienced, just looking for some of the best spots in town to hit, well, you know we can't say that on this video, but shoot me a DM, we can chat offline. So I mentioned all the common conveniences in our introduction to this neighborhood tour, how nice it is to have a lot of the corporate stuff available to you, but not right in your face with a quick drive without having to get on the freeway. Well, one of the things that is taking place here in San Diego is a complete overhaul of the San Diego Sports Arena. It's a historic basketball arena and events venue, really, and it's just seen its day. It's getting old, but the plan is for a complete overhaul. Not only is it going to change the face of the sports arena itself, it's going to change the entire area surrounding the sports arena, cleaning it up, adding more housing, and really upgrading and updating that part of Point Loma that's closest to the freeway. You know, I could hang out on the cliffs all day long. I spend as much time at the beach as possible, but we got to get this show on the road. We're going to show you some homes in specific and different types of neighborhoods here in Point Loma, and we're going to show you what you can get at different price points as well. It's been great to show off the neighborhood to potential buyers. Let's go on inside and check it out. Welcome to 1224 Clove Street. This place is awesome. It sits right on the edge between Fleet Ridge and Roseville. It's a 2,500 square foot home, 4-bed, 4-bath, 4 full baths, by the way. That is a brand new build. It didn't start from the ground up. They did remodel an old home, but it was a catastrophe. They completely gutted the whole place and started over. So I'm not gonna show you the entire home, but we're gonna point out some of the cool features, like this giant entertaining space that looks out over the neighborhood and a little water views from down here. An amazing kitchen with huge island and high-end appliances. We've got downstairs laundry, 2 downstairs bathrooms, 2 downstairs bedrooms, and a yard out back. But the coolest part is the primary right upstairs. Let's go check out those views. Upstairs, we've got a second living room. This is key for families and anyone who wants to entertain, really. We've got a small bedroom here, another full bath here, but let's go check out this primary suite. This is where it's at, and you are gonna be stunned when you see these views. Can you imagine waking up to views like these every morning? I haven't even gotten out of the bed yet, and I'm looking at sailboats in the harbor. This place has 900 feet of deck space. There are 4 decks on this property. I'm standing here on one of them, but you've got to come out and check out the skyline view. Come on. So we showed you the entry-level unit, and now we've shown you the median average price point unit. It's time to go look at some luxury property. Let's go. We cannot do a proper tour of Point Loma without at least making a stop here at the Bali Hai, a true fixture, not just here in Point Loma, but of all of San Diego. People from all over the county bring their friends and relatives when they're in here visiting to come check out not only the amazing food and hospitality that the Bali Hai offers, but also these incredible views. Let's go inside and check it out. I am fortunate enough to be friends with the man around here, not only here at the Bali Hai, but also over across the way at Tom Ham's Lighthouse. And Mr. Larry Bauman has the fortunate position to be celebrating 70 years in the same location with the same restaurant, with the same family running this place. Get us up to speed real quick. Tell us a little bit about the history, about you coming to San Diego, because it was technically your wife's family that got it started, right?
Yes, yeah. My father-in-law actually purchased the Bali Hai in 1954. It was 2 years old in its second bankruptcy.
Second bankruptcy already,
yeah,
after 2 years.
In 2 years. And when it opened, it was called Christian's Hut, Christian for Mutiny on the Bounty, novel, movie. But Tom Ham walked into here, he looked at this view and he said, well, this is Bali Hai. And nobody really knew what he was talking about, but he was well read. He loved the South Pacific, and Bali Hai translates to top of the isle. Well,
here we are,
the top of the island. And they really were pushing the eastern end of the island. He said that was too close to the city. He wanted a little farther away from the city for the view. And his first concept there was was like Mystic Seaport in Connecticut, little shops and restaurants.
Oh, really?
And the port told him it was too grandiose. But it is that end of Harbor Island needed an aid to navigation. And so he included the light in it. And on all the charts, it's beacon number 9, and the Coast Guard has the easement to the light on the roof. That is an official Coast Guard lighthouse. Oh, it still is.
I didn't
it's
know
beacon
that.
number 9. And oh yeah, the Coast Guard maintains it. They visit it every month and make sure it's.
To bring you up to speed, Tom Ham's Lighthouse is also owned by the same family
Family.
and has different food but similar vibes.
Yes.
Over there.
Yeah.
And also
so fun.
amazing views down there as well.
And Shelter Island is just so unique, as is Point Loma. Point Loma is just a niche that is hard to describe. My wife grew up here. My sons grew up here. They wouldn't live anyplace else.
And it was actually the military that brought you
The
here,
military
right?
brought me here. The Navy brought me to San Diego, and I was fortunate enough to get a part-time job here, and eventually married the boss's daughter, and changed the whole direction of my life.
And then there was an unfortunate early passing of your father-in-law.
My father-in-law passed in Tom Ham passed in '73, November of '73. He was only 54 years old.
Yeah.
And so my education took a little back seat at that point, because having 2 large restaurants, a couple hundred employees, it was clear my wife and my mother-in-law needed some help, and so here we are today.
Got in where you fit in and started helping run the business. And
yeah, and really a great part of our success is that the people from all over San Diego bring their out-of-town guests here to show off the city.
Absolutely.
And really, there's nothing regulars like more than for the owner to come by and say hi.
We love it so much for a great midweek snack at the bar menu or something to celebrate. It's just a place where people who live here come, not just for the amazing Mai Tais, but for the killer food, the great views, and the community. Like, people from Point Loma are here.
And the Mai Tais they deserve a comment, because they do transcend generations.
So much so that you had alcohol distributor or producers partner with you on certain rums, right?
Yes. Yeah.
In order to make the Bali Hai Mai Tai.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
There was a time during COVID where it was very difficult to get the rums that were needed to make, but we did survive. So, but the deal with transcending generations. Recently, have got some gals that come and play bridge here in the mornings before we open, and they play bridge for a couple hours, and they have lunch and go home. And they're up in their years, and they used to have lunch at home, rotate to each one's home. Well, that got to be kind of a hassle, and so we let them in early to play bridge. And recently on an afternoon, one of these gals is coming up the stairs with a young man in tow, and I said, goodness, we don't normally see you this time of the day. She said, oh, it's my grandson's 21st birthday, and I'm buying him his first Mai Tai.
Hey!
And I looked at her with a dumb look, I guess, and she said, oh, it's tradition, Larry.
It is family tradition.
It's tradition,
That's awesome. So, okay, we're going to go back into the kitchen. We're going to watch some of this food get prepared. Cool.
Yeah,
well, let's go check it out.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So after a cool bit of history from Larry himself and a nice little backstage behind the scenes look at how this stuff is done, it's time to dig in. These are some of my absolute favorite apps on the menu. They've got an extensive dinner menu, but these are what they're known for. First of all, no juice whatsoever. They are world renowned, known for their Mai Tais here at the Bali Hai. Hits a spot every time. And these steak skewers are some of the most tender, delicious teriyaki steak skewers you've ever had in your life. So good. But don't sleep on this coconut shrimp. The sauce they serve it with is light, the breading is not too heavy, and the flavor is just all day. You gotta come through here. If you find yourself in Point Loma, you have got to stop here and check out the Bali Hai. So I'm here with one of the Bali Hai's esteemed bartenders, where they make some of the most amazing tiki drinks, and we've got everything here. So I mean, you've got the goof punch, you've got the monkey wrench, you've got the zombie. I mean, you've got the shark's tooth, you've got the hurricane, you've got all the classics. But the Bali Hai is known for their world famous Mai Tais, and Dustin's going to show us how it's done. So what's first?
Yeah. So you grab your glass and you start off with the our famously crushed ice, and you're going to use the original Trader Vic's Orgeat almond syrup, just a 1/4 ounce of that, and then a 1/2 ounce of triple sec, and then you're going to do Cruzan light rum and Karuba Jamaican dark rum, and that's basically going to fill us up to the top. And then we hit it with a splash of sweet and sour, and we stir that up.
I noticed there's no juice.
No juice in this cocktail whatsoever. A nice pineapple and cherry for garnish.
Look at that. World famous Mai Tai. Thanks, Dustin.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this video with us. It was a great joy to sit down with Larry and the Bauman family and the staff to really get behind the scenes and see what's going on in this staple of the community, the Bali Hai. For more videos just like this, showcasing some of the most amazing spots here in San Diego, just click that like button and subscribe to our channel. Thanks so much.